Hey guys, what's up? Now here, back in another video. So today I'm going to be getting into my guide for using Kakyoin in ranked 1v1s slash fighting Kakyoin in ranked 1v1s. If you are looking forward to it, make sure you like, sub, and hit that bell if you haven't already. I want to apologize for the video taking so long to get out. As I already mentioned in my last video, I was going to be out of town for a couple of days, and I would have done the video out a little bit earlier, but I was still trying to get back into the groove of things, and I was kind of busy, and a whole bunch of other stuff happened that I can't be bothered to get into right now. So just know I'm back. I'll try to get like another upload in this week. And yeah, without any further ado, let's go right into the video. Okay, so before we get into Kakyoin's combos, here's some very basic knowledge you want to hold on to. So cast, strike, and tendrils are all true from M1s. You can do them, they're true from M1s. And one last bit of advice, not even tip, just something you need to know. Cast has really low end lag, so low end lag that you can actually combo from and into M1s using that move up close. So what will you do with that knowledge? What can you do with that knowledge? Just know that if you do M1s, you can do the move, and with cast, it can kind of extend combos, kind of. So what combos can you generate with this? Now, you would think, okay, let me just do 4-on-1s in the cast into, not tendril, strike. And that combo actually does not work. Every time I tried to do that combo, I got P-blocked by the dummy. So does it work with tendrils? Yes, it does work with tendrils, but tendrils itself is really inconsistent, and that combo is really inconsistent. So that speaks volumes, hopefully. But there is a way you can make the combos true. If you saw my Bruno guide, you would know that, well, not you would know, but we're going to do something similar with what I did with Zipper Dash, and that's using the move mid-combo. So with cast, instead of doing 4-on-1s into cast, we're going to do M1s into cast into M1s, and then whatever move we want to end off the combo with. So by that, it's best for me to do an example. If I wanted to do a cast combo that ends with strike, Hierophant strike, then I could do 3 M1s into cast, and then follow up with my last M1 so I don't end the combo, and then I end off with strike. And that's a true combo, because while cast into strike is not true, as I've already mentioned, M1s into strike is true. So because we put the M1 after the cast, it's going to be a true combo, since it has less startup and it has less end lag. So yeah, that is something just to keep note of. Also with tendrils, it's the same combo. You can do 1-on-1 and then cast 3 M1s and then tendrils, for example. And it's true. I just don't recommend using that combo, but I'll go into that with the tip section of the video for why I don't recommend using tendrils at all. But yeah, does he have any other combos, you might be asking? And I mean, he does. You can, if you land his grab, you can follow up with cast. If you like, it's going to be a no situation where this happens, but if you land the grab up close, and you use cast immediately after, you can follow up with M1s, as I've already stated, because cast is true in the M1s, and then you can follow up with tendrils or strike. So there's that, but there's going to be like little to no instance where you land the grab in your opponent's face so that you can actually do that combo. And you see when I test the combo, I guard break the dummy first. This is so I can just actually do the combo on a block dummy. But even then, your opponent can immediately hold F from like most ranges, and they can block the cast. So that's why I It's not really that true of a combo, and it's not reliable, but I guess it's something you can just keep in the back of your head in case it ever happens. But something you should be doing is when you use the grab, follow up with cast. Now moving on to Kakyoin's Awakening. I have some pretty controversial opinions about his Awakening, but I'll go into that with the tips section of the video. Just for now, know that his Awakening basically has no combos. And the reason for that is he loses cast, and you know cast is true in the M1s and from M1s and comboed with strike and tendrils. And since that move is gone, he basically has no combos now. His grab, same thing. It actually has more end lag, so that I did it one time on a dummy, but I literally couldn't get it off in a match against an opponent that rolled immediately or mashed immediately or blocked immediately. The dummy, I couldn't get it off more than one time, so they held block immediately after. So there's that. And you do have 20-meter Emerald Splash, but that move is so inconsistent and so unreliable that I can't even really say that it starts combos. Since it's blocked, I don't know why it's blockable, but you can block it, and it has a weird hitbox, so a lot of the time it misses. So, but if it does connect, that 1% chance it does connect and your opponent's close to you, you can start combos from it, like you can do M1s into tendrils or M1s into strike.
Yeah. Like that's ever gonna happen.
That's about it for his Awakening. Moving on to the tip section of the video. Okay, so moving on to the tips. What do I have for Kakyoin's base kit? Now, I'll go through the moves. So cast, you want to be using kind of just like your zoning tool. You throw it out, try to catch your opponent, get some chip damage off, so and so. You can also use it to try to start combos up close, extend, as I already said. That's the main way I use it, to try to get into combos. But if you're not comfortable with that, perfectly just use it as a zoning tool. Now the grab, my only tip for that is to try to follow up with cast if you have it, just because a lot of people don't block it, and you have to be just immediately knowing that you have to hold F, or you're just going to take the cast damage, right? The 3 is going to be your primary guard break, because tendrils is terrible. It's a terrible guard break. It's a terrible move. The damage is not worth it for the garbage hitbox. Since it's like 10 feet ahead of Kakyoin, a lot of the time it misses, and your opponent gets to punish you for it because the move has end lag. If you can't tell, I hate the move, and I think it needs to be buffed. Just bring the move closer to Kakyoin. That's my only thing. Why is it so far away? And why does it have end lag if it's so easy to miss? I don't like that. But for now, at the current state, the move is do not use it. It's just unreliable. And Emerald Splash. Emerald Splash, I recommend using it as a punish tool. You're free to use it like mid-range, like when you're well, not mid-range, like relatively long range, because it doesn't like spread far like Joseph or Stroheim's barrages or whatever you want to call them, right? It stays kind of like centered and pretty straight, so you can use it from long ranges, and the majority of the pellets are going to connect. And the main reason why you want to stay long range, just use it as a punish tool, is because it has pretty decent end lag. And the move also is blockable. You can block all of the Emerald Splash, and you're not going to get guard broken. So that's why it's important to look out for that move. Make sure you're not just tossing it out randomly too often. It's a nice mix-up to use it randomly, so you can catch your opponent like doing a move or something like that. But aside from that, I don't really recommend using the move outside the punish tool. And the last thing is Mystic Trap. Mystic Trap is going to be your best friend. You throw up Mystic Trap, then you use Emerald Splash, your opponent tries to come towards you, they're not going to be able to, because then they're going to have to take the damage from Mystic Trap, and they're going to get hit with the hit stun, and then you're going to be able to roll away, right? Same thing with the grab, same thing you can be said with, I guess, cast, even though it doesn't have that much end lag at all. It's a really solid move, and I really recommend you use it to kind of just set like the boundaries for you and your opponent and force them to walk around you. It's just a really solid move, and you need to make sure you're using it when it's off cooldown. Now moving on to Kakyoin's Awakening. His Awakening, my controversial statement, is pretty shit. It's just not that great of an awakening, for reasons I'm about to get into. So he loses Cast. Cast is his main combo. Well, it's his best zoning tool. It was in base. It's his best zoning tool. It does solid damage, and it combos into M1s, which then can be used into Strike or Tendrils. So it was his combo extender, and it was also basically gonna be it's just one of his best moves in his kit, and then it gets lost in his awakening. His grab just doesn't. Well, you lost Cast, so you can't make combo from it like that, but his grab is, in my opinion, slightly worse since you can't even M1 into it. I tried doing it on dummies and it just didn't work out anytime I tried to do it. No, it worked out one time and then I wasn't able to get it to work again. But in base, I literally got it to work every single time. So it has more or less hits done or more end lag, one of those two. Either way, the move is just not that great compared to his base kit, since you could actually combo from it if you got it up close. His Strike is still the same, but Tendrils is still the same. That's not great. And the fact that he gets in what replaces Cast is 20 meter Emerald Splash. That's the really sucky part, because 20 meter Splash at the moment, the current state it's terrible. Like literally, it's blockable. Why is it blockable? I don't understand. And half the time, the move misses. If your opponent dashes while 20 meter Splash is out or whatever, the damage misses, right? And it's only like 25 damage for a trap move that you won't hit your opponent if they just run away. It's very, it sucks right now. It should bypass, and it should hit every time if your opponent gets hit by it crosses one of the things, right? So that's why the move is just terrible. It's a bad replacement for Cast. And Painting, that doesn't even combo start. It does 10 damage, it bypasses, but it has too much end lag to be used in any combo, and in fact leaves you punished if you use it up close. So he has no combo starters, no combo extenders, no moves to chain moves in the other moves. It's just worse than his base overall. And honestly, it's just kind of a downgrade. Now, what is my counterplay for facing Kakyoin? Now, Kakyoin is a character that is actually a lot easier to fight than people made him out to be. I think he's actually pretty overrated. He's not as OP as people make him out to be. He's a very strong character, very annoying in publics, and that's what people like to judge a character's balance off of. But overall, Kakyoin just isn't like as crazy. He's not a bad character, no, but he's just not as crazy as people make him out to be. His base, just honestly, when he throws out Cast, if he's long range, what is he gonna do? Throw out Cast or throw out his grab, block, right? Both of his guard breaks are close range or Tendrils, so it's gonna miss. But both his guard breaks are close range, so if you're at a range, what is he gonna do? He's either going to use his 1, his 2, or his 5, right? Or he's going to use his X, and then he has the trap, so he's just going to stay in that area until it despawns. Fair enough, right? But with that information, you now know what you need to do. Mid-long range, you hold block. Close range, you just look out for the moves, but you don't turtle. So, simple as that. Now, his trap, you need to make sure you keep a conscious... just know what the audio cue is. I don't remember what the audio cue is, but just keep a conscious effort to remember where he uses the move at, right? If you see him say something and you see nothing, then that's how you know the move. He placed it, and you need to look out for it, because it's pretty delayed, and even if you roll through it, the attack misses, but if it does connect, then he can follow up with Cast and do a bunch of other stuff. You don't want that. You don't want to take damage in the first place. So that's why I really recommend that you just keep a note in your head of where he places it. Okay, now moving on to Kakyoin's Awakening. To counter it is honestly block, like the same advice. He has moved. He has actually no. It's worse because he doesn't have cast. So he's either going to do two things: Emerald Splash or use his grab at a range. So you know what you need to do: hold block at those ranges. When he gets close, obviously don't turtle. If you see 20-meter Emerald Splash, for some reason block because it's a blockable move, and his trap is not too threatening. I would actually recommend you roll towards him if you get hit by it because the move has lots of end lag and it's pretty punishable. And also because of the fact that, well, you can roll and avoid the trap, but I haven't seen one person do it, so I'm not entirely sure if it's even possible. But that's supposed to be how you avoid the move, right? But basically the same thing applies for his base. It's just a little bit easier to handle because cast isn't constantly on your ass. But yeah, that's about it for the counterplay of Kakyoin. And now moving on to my gameplay using Kakyoin alongside my commentary. So starting off in the first match, we are on Nightmare World facing another Kakyoin, and I want to apologize out of the blue. Spoiler alert, the next video is, well, not next video, the next fight is going to be against the same opponent. He uses a different character, and it would have been two different matches if it wasn't for the fact that you can see I used the 2 and it landed, so I immediately followed up with the 1. But as I was saying, I would have used a different match if it wasn't for the fact that, well, I had 2 matches, took me one, they were back-to-back good, well, usable matches for commentary, and I lost them both because my freaking OBS for some reason had my screen all the way to the top, so you couldn't even see like half of what was going on. So that was cool. Had to go through 10 matches to find 2 decent matches, which were against the same guy. Right now, I am in a large disadvantage. I think I'm around like 50, 40 HP. Right now, he's playing around this. I blocked that. His grab is punishable. He probably should have placed his trap before he used his grab. But, yeah. Tried to land my grab, but that did not work. You see, I roll immediately after so I don't get punished easily. Using my forward actually connected. Surprise, surprise. I don't know why I said surprise, surprise. I'm surprised that it connected. He got hit with some projectile delay, so I was able to connect the rest of my Emerald Splash. Trying to get some M1s off using cast at the end there did not work out for me. I hit him with the 2 close range, so I would have been able to M1 him, but he died from it anyways. Tried to hit him with the 3, block the grab, hit him with M1s, and I try to follow up with the useless tendrils because you have to, it's weird, you have to back. I hate moves like this, like Bruno's grab. You have to back up for the move to connect, and it's so bad. I hate it. Got me with M1s. I'm not entirely sure what he did right there, but okay, he hit me with Emerald Splash up close. It's gonna suck. That's like well over 25 damage. Well, not well over, but still gonna be a ton of damage. Tried it. Oh, I did hit him with the grab, and you saw I was up close. I was able to end off with tendrils. Well, not tendril strike. Tried to hit him with tendrils there. Did not work out. I'm probably gonna throw out my Mystic Trap. Oh, he did his grab first. Okay. I have a really bad headache right now, but I'll continue commentating. So, throw out the trap. Try to hit him with the grab. He couldn't punish me because I threw it out. Holding block. Punish him with 3 for hitting me while I'm blocking. And I have to take that full Emerald Splash. I can't keep eating those. It's just, I don't, it's important to block those. It's really important. And you see he's being smart. He's blocking and walking towards me. That's something that I didn't point out in the counterplay section, and I'll have it like in like the dashes or whatever. If he hits you with Emerald Splash and you block it, you need to make sure you're walking towards him. And that also goes both ways. When you're using Kakyoin, you need to make sure that with Emerald Splash, you're not getting too close so that you can get, because it has end lag. You don't want to get too close since it doesn't knock back and it has end lag. You got to make sure you're staying in like a middle ground, like making sure all your emeralds hit, but making sure that at the same time, what am I trying to say? At the same time, you're making sure that you're not missing all of your emeralds, but you're not gonna get punished. And sometimes I forget to do that. I did just spam, throw around Emerald Splash, And mine actually ended early, I think. So it might have gotten canceled, but it might have just ended early. I'm not entirely sure. Not early, but just ended. Trying to get him with some damage because he still has a pretty solid lead above me right now. Oh, I actually hit him with. See, the hitbox is so weird. It's so weird. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm just trying to not die, get as much damage in as possible. I tried to hit him with the grab, that did not work out. But I actually hit him with strike, so that's good. And I'm gonna awaken just so I can keep the stock going on for a little bit longer. I tried to throw out that move and it didn't work out, but I did hit him with the grab since he rolled away at the same time, and he died from it. Hit him with paint strike. He probably should have rolled and punished me with that, but he didn't. I did catch him trying to get me, so I hit him with Emerald Splash, and that's going to be like 30, 25 upwards, well, 25 to 30 damage around that area, so that's pretty solid. Tried to hit him with the 3, that didn't work, and I hit him with the grab, but he awakened at the same time, so that sucks. Tried to hit him with tendrils. It might have connected, I'm not entirely sure right there. Hit him with painting, but mine came out first. He's trying to, oh, he got me with the grab. That's solid damage. I'm trying not to die because I don't want to lose the awakening. I still have some solid charge left. Throw out 20-meter Emerald Splash. I'm throwing out my Emerald Splash, and I'm probably going to hit him with the grab. He rolled. He rolled way too early. Try to hit him with the grab there. That did not work out. I'm just blocking. Get him off my back with tendril. Dang, I should use strike. That was an accident. And then I died to tendrils. That sucks. That really sucks. Would have been good 20 damage he would have taken. Probably going to throw out Mystic Trap. Or not. Throw out the grab and then follow up with cast. Because he's gotten a little bit cocky. He's just throwing out moves randomly, trying to get as much damage. Maybe it's not cockiness, but he's throwing out his moves, and I'm able to punish them a lot easier since he's not really thinking about what he's doing, since he wasn't awakening. And to be honest, not much to think about with this awakening, because it's pretty brainless and just relying on your opponent not holding block and not running. And I died to cast. Alright, so the gap is closed. We're around the same amount of HP now. Maybe he's at like 70 or 80. But, yeah. Try to hit him with cast. You tried to be a little bit slick. No. Try again next time. I did hit him with strike to get him off of me. I'm not entirely sure what's going on right now. Oh, I did try to throw out Emerald Splash, but you see I'm going behind my Mystic Trap, so if he tries to punish me, he's going to get hit with Mystic Trap. Now, in that situation, I would recommend... Oh, this is another good tip. With Kakyoins and Mystic Trap, roll through them. It cancels the attack, so you don't have to deal with it later. And if they use it as a trap like I suggested, then, well, you can roll through it and you get to punish them anyway. Mostly if it's Emerald Splash, because if you're doing all that, then the moves, you're probably not going to be able to punish them at that point. Alright, a random Emerald Splash connected, and it finished him off. GG, well played. Alright, moving on to the next match, we are facing the same guy, but now he's using Stroheim. Now, Stroheim is probably the better zoner overall, but, yeah, he probably is just... Kakyoin isn't even really a zoner, he's a ranged character. He has a lot of ranged moves, such as his 1, his 2, his 5, and 3 kind of is not really ranged, it's mostly close range, but I guess. So there's that. But Stroheim's kit overall is probably a little bit stronger than his, especially Awakening. So it's going to be hard for me to try to turn this into my favor. I'm getting a little bit of damage off, but nothing crazy. And immediately I follow up with cast, and he was able to block perfectly at the right time, so he avoided the damage. Really nice play on his part, but he did roll into... Well, did he roll into trap? Because sometimes when you roll into trap, it avoids the attack, but in that situation, he got hit with the trap at the same... Like, he rolled in the trap, not past the trap, and he got hit by it. Throwing out Emerald Splash at a pretty bad spot since he could easily walk towards me and block, but he unblocked at a terrible time, and I actually could have capitalized off of that a bit better, but it is fine. He didn't block immediately after getting grabbed, so that's great damage. Just trying to get some M1s on him, but he's done. If you go near Stroheim or they're coming towards you, then they're probably gonna use their stuns pretty. They're probably, as I've already said, they're one of the most, if not the most predictable characters to fight in the game. I don't know if that connected or not. Alright, do an Emerald Splash. He's not going to be able to punish me. That was a alright roll, and he died to like the end of the Emerald Splash, so that sucks for him. Still, it's a pretty even game now. Just got to make sure I try to close that gap. Well, not close, but try to get it in my favor. I'm scared of the stun, that's why I'm holding block. I expected him to end off with the stun, maybe. That would have been a pretty smooth play. Go for M1, 4 M1s, and then instead of going for the 5th, you go for the stun. That was a solid damage on his part. Throw out an Emerald Splash that actually connects. So solid damage all around. I don't think we're even. I think he has the lead, but I think that might have gotten close with that cast. We'll see. So he throws out his guard break. And that move actually missed. Now I almost punished him with M1, but nope. And for sometimes you're able to roll out of that. I'm not entirely sure why per se. That's why I don't do M1s after Stroheim stun. I immediately use the gun. But sometimes it's true. Maybe he's just doing it kind of delayed, because I've seen some Kakyoin people do it, and it's true. And that move is so weird. A lot of the times when you grab the enemy, the shards miss if they dash while doing it or they're doing some other action. But that, I did not expect that to connect. So he's just trying to outzone me, just staying near my trap. And kind of just no need for me to really push him. He got hit by that. He was kind of scared, so he was being on a defensive and he died. It's looking like a pretty, not substantial lead, but a lead nonetheless, especially with that move connecting, following up with cast, trying to get some L1s in. Gonna follow up with Emerald Splash, but that's gonna suck. And I'm gonna walk into him actually so I can miss some of the M1s, but he ended up killing me with his attack, or his barrage, I guess you could call it. Don't land the grab actually. And then I trade cast with his laser eye or whatever. He landed the stun, which kind of sucks, but I used Emerald Splash because I expected him to do that. And I missed a couple of the attacks, but still really solid damage. M1s into that is not true, so not sure. Well, I guess he just doesn't know that, but now if you didn't know that, now you do. That was weird. That, see, sometimes like that move just is so weird. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. Talking about the grab. Tendrils, I've already discussed the move enough. I don't even comment on it anymore. It's just, bruh. So I'm gonna awaken just to keep my stock and my HP, my HP higher and my stock. Landing the bypassing grab, throwing off 20-meter Emerald Splash, surprise it connected. Tried to throw out the grab, but he blocked it. That was a pretty nice block on his part. So he threw out his guard break, and I hit him with Emerald Splash, but he falls down. That was a pretty good spot, or lucky spot at least, for him to be at, so he could just fall off if he gets caught by it. Throwing off the painter move, which was a pretty bad situation on my part, for me, because with that move, it has a heavy end, as I've already said. So yeah, tried to get the strike off, did not work, but I rolled mid combo somehow, and because he dropped. Not somehow, he did. He's getting M1s on me. I'm trying to punish him with my Emerald Splash, and I did because he got too close. Tried to throw out another Emerald Splash to end it off, and I threw out my grab. Actually, he unblocked last second, which is really good for me, and I was actually able to finish him off. And try to hit him with Painter Strike. I think it got canceled. Throw out my strike myself, and I'm about to lose my stock, but he has 1 stock left while I have basically 2. So that is looking pretty good for me right now. But Awakenings can turn tides easily, especially Stroheim's. Very dumb damage if he just plays this correctly. And there it is in the flesh. I'm just gonna probably go ranged Kakyoin and just zone because there's no point in me even trying to play aggressive. A lot of times you'll see people actually start playing dumb when they awaken, especially like at these lower ranks. People just start not playing as well as they were originally because they just think they're invincible. So that's why I kind of just threw that out to just see if it would connect, and it did. He awakened, and if you don't know, he has one move that can do a ridiculous amount of damage. I'm just really scared to get hit by it. Doing some M1s, tendrils, combo, sky is falling. That was a really solid stun on his part. That's what he tried to do earlier, but I was too far away. Throwing out my cast, and I just don't want to get hit with that move. And you see, the thing that I do is I roll backwards so that the rockets miss me, and I take a couple pellets, but I'm perfectly fine with that trade. I take a couple pellets, I don't take 20 damage dealing bombs in my face. But that is all for the match. GG, well played. And with that, that concludes our video. In the next one, I will be doing a guide for Mista, the character that is pretty controversial in the TV2 Discord, and most people consider him the worst character out of the update. And I have to say, probably, but I don't think he's a bad character by any means, as long as you just learn how to do one thing, and that is zone. But that will be discussed at another time. If you did enjoy, make sure you like, sub, and hit that button to see more content like this. And without any further ado, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.